I'm a high school janitor, and I found a student's diary in the trash that detailed plans to shoot up the school tomorrow. I'm a janitor at Riverside High, and I was emptying trash in the senior hallway when I found a notebook. I opened it to see if there was a name so I could return it. The first page said, Day 47 of planning. Everything is ready. Tomorrow at 10:32 during assembly. My hands started shaking. I flipped through more pages and saw detailed layouts of the school, lists of exits, timings for when certain hallways would be empty. I ran to the principal's office. It was 4:15 p.m. and most staff had left, but Principal Vance was still there. I showed him the notebook and watched his face go from annoyed to horrified. He called the police immediately. Within 20 minutes, we had 5 officers in the building going through every page. They said this was credible. Whoever wrote this had access to the building and knew the schedule perfectly. The problem was, there was no name anywhere. Just the initials AM scattered throughout. The police started pulling files of every student with those initials. 13 kids. They called all 13 families and told them to bring their kids in for questioning. It was now 6 p.m. and we only had until 10:32 a.m. the next day to figure out who wrote it. I kept reading through the notebook while police interviewed students. Something caught my eye. One entry said, Mrs. Fletcher gave me detention again today for being late. She never understands that I have to wait for mom to get home from night shift so I can take her car. I knew exactly which student this was. Aaron Martinez. His mom worked nights as a nurse and he was always late to first period. I told the detective and they brought Aaron in. He denied everything at first, but when they showed him specific pages, his face crumbled. He said he'd written it, but wasn't actually going to do anything. It was just venting. The detective said, You detailed escape routes and timing and where you'd get the weapons. Aaron said, I was angry, but I was never going to actually do it, I swear. They searched his house and found nothing. No weapons, no ammunition, nothing to suggest he was actually planning to follow through. But the notebook was detailed enough that they couldn't risk it. They arrested him anyway. The school was closed the next day while they investigated further. 3 days later, I was cleaning the library when I found another notebook. Same handwriting, same level of detail. But this one was dated after Aaron had been arrested. This one said, Day 3 since Aaron took the fall.